everyone. My name is Upen. I'm CEO of SpeedGaze. I'm one of you. I started my career as an artist 25 years back. I've been an editor, compositor, grown to become a businessman, run a couple of studios, started a couple of successful studios like Assemblage, and was part of 88. And somewhere during that period, I kind of saw a great opportunity in moving towards technology-based solution to the industry, as nobody was really doing anything about it. We were relying on either international players or stuff like that. So in 2016, we founded SpeedGaze as a software solution for rendering. So my aim was to build a supercomputing platform that can ease the use and pains of rendering, and then we moved on from there to build solutions like cloud rendering platform, virtual workstations, and many more high-performance computing applications. Back in 2013, when I was producing my first animated film for Hollywood, that is where I that was the time when I knew little bit about technology, like almost 10 years back. So I didn't know the difference between Cat5, Cat6 cables also at that time. And during the course of that period, and then now, here we are talking about building one of the fastest supercomputers for Indian animation industry. Yeah, so that's my little journey, and I would encourage animation and visual effects studios to explore our solution to see how we can facilitate their compute requirements. Yeah. Venu, you want to add up?
Hi, everyone. My name is Venu. And Upen, I think he had the best part of the presentation. He could walk you through his journey and the genesis of SpeedGaze from, how we got here. And as a startup, I'm used to the other mic. As a startup, there are stories at every point as you build the solution, right? So one of the stories was that customers like to be, the customers like a human touch. So that's how we built the platform, our version 1, where most of it was manual, right? There was a huge piece of code sitting on a bunch of computers, but the customer onboarding experience was manual because, that's how we started. And lots of customers started working with us. They placed their trust in us. And from then till now, most of our customers are still our customers. And, a big thank you for that. And as we started 2023, we see Pathan with the greatest box office hit so far. Then we had the Golden Globes and Oscars. And all these movies have just proven that Indian VFX has truly come on the global stage, right? And we are here today to acknowledge the people behind the scenes making these great things possible. Having said that, Indian studios don't really have to go abroad to do their cloud rendering. We provide a platform which is equally good and in fact offers a lot more than the foreign player can offer, be it speed, reliability, security, all of that. And to add to that, we have a local language support, which is not just a bunch of techies. These are people from the industry like Upen, who can actually help fix your files, fix your any workflow issues and things like that, right? The pipeline. So this is that we bring to you as a partner. And we are proudly made in India from scratch, made in Mumbai. So we look forward to the industry in supporting Make in India and helping this ecosystem grow. And with that, I think the session that we're going to have very soon also talks about the rise of Indian VFX and the drivers and how we as a community can help not just the studios and folks, but also the technology players in this who are made in India to become really, really global, right? Thank you.
You know, we can't follow up on Bedia. That was an amazing session, I must tell you. But we'll try. I hope you guys will stay engaged, and we'll answer some of your questions around what's going to drive VFX into the future. You know, I'll come to that. Let me begin by asking Suchit, who's on the extreme left, my extreme left, and your extreme right. So what's going to drive VFX in the future? What's really going to drive? And then I'll ask the same question from Yogesh before coming on to you. And what's keeping it from growing?
What's keeping it from growing?
And what's going to drive it in the future?
Right. Thanks, Anil. Hi. A lot of friends here whom I've worked with in the past. And Anil, honestly, like we have discussed this before at times, that to me, there are a few things which make a real difference. One is, of course, we are a hub for international VFX. We are doing a lot of work here ourselves. And the structure is well set. The pace is there. But even then, I think there's a major lag between what we need to do, how we need to do in terms of cost and timelines, and also in terms of what we produce here as country-specific products. So from my end, my approach has been, since I started this particular organization 6 years ago, post our stints in Riva, was to look into doing productions which will have the effect of right employment in terms of VFX. I can hire and recruit the right artists, as well as make money for the entire industry. It's a cycle which needs to be filled at the end of it when you take a round. And currently with Famulus and MadFam, that's the entire approach which is coming into being, wherein I'm trying to create a product wherein I can support my VFX services, not only depend, I've got a lot of work with me, which is probably more than I should be doing, but also create that particular product wherein I can support that life cycle of VFX in India, which probably supports the right cost structure, the right timelines, the right content, give chances to the writers, the directors, the artists, whoever we want to work with less limitations. Government-specific benefits do come to us, but again, on a micro level, it is very difficult to determine that. I must be very honest with that. So it's till the point we create something of our own and drive that with the help of technology. It doesn't really reflect in our business model. In the kind of way, we are not a huge Fortune 500 company at all. Unlike a lot there in the market who have outsourced their work to India and they've set up their shops in India. So that is what we are trying to do ardently for a long time. And I think with MadFam and Famulus, that is exactly what is going to happen right now.
Okay, Yogesh. So what's been keeping us so far and what's going to drive us further? We've been doing a lot of odd jobs here and there. Very few companies are doing the end-to-end VFX. You know, they farm it out to different people, different studios. So what's kept us? Has that kept us, or we had the skill set? Pick up, go and watch any film, and the end credits have so many Indian names.
First of all, I'd like to thank you everybody for calling me here. Thank you, Wanvari sir. My views are a little bit different than what everybody's saying. I've been participating since morning, and I've heard a lot of AI is coming, VP and everything is coming. The good thing which I'm seeing here is that people are now willing to understand VFX. The core importance of VFX now starts with the scripting and story stage, where the directors and producers are willing to make us the part of their own filmmaking process. Earlier, we have only been part when the film has been shot, the edit has been done, and then you come, hey, VFXWAALA ko bulao, let's do the VFX and execute it. So now we have become a core part of the team. They want us to match the vision. Like I was hearing of somebody in this one of the session where the directors, we want directors, not the ADs to come, work with us on the previous. We want to match the vision so that, we can achieve what India as a country, we have given a lot of good outputs. I think most of the Hollywood outputs are happening out of India at this point of time. And us, I would not say as a Bollywood, as you don't like a Bollywood anymore, but as an Indian,
the word Bollywood because it's
that's
Indian
what
cinema.
I respect that.
Let's all take an oath. We will not use the word Bollywood. We'll use the word Indian cinema, Hindi cinema, Tamil cinema, Telugu cinema.
Can't agree more.
Yeah.
So the Indian VFX industry has been growing at a very good pace. The only thing which is keeping up us from going forward is lack of talent at this point of time.
Lack of talent.
Lack of talent. We never anticipated before COVID that, will require so much of talent. We never anticipate so much of workflow will come from abroad to India. They want to work with us. I think this is all impact of Made in India, which has been promoted. Studios are coming here. We are working in every project, I think, out of the world. We have our name in that. So I'm seeing a lot of growth happening, but I'm again seeing a lot of talent, a lot of infrastructure needs to be spent, a lot of things needs to be done for this industry. A lot of subsidies are been required. Government support has been required for us to keep on going. That's what it is.
Yeah, but if I look at it, you had a very busy last year.
Yes, we do have a busy last year.
Six projects?
No, around about 9 projects last year, and we have already delivered 3. As I speak, today is our final delivery for biggest movie which we are anticipating, which is VFXWAALA in terms of VFX. And then we have got few more lineup, but yeah, that's slow.
And Red Chillies, and you have been very busy, both of you.
I think all the studios in India have been busy, with some of the other deliveries. So that's a good thing for every studio. Then none of the studios have been idle, including the studios when we are giving an outsource. So everybody is doing a good job.
What about your side, Ankush? So the same comment that I began with. What's kept India? What has kept India behind in terms of? Well, we are like they call us a VFX factory. हमें factory बुलाते हैं, लेकिन we haven't really broken out as such.
Well, that's really a good question, and we are very capable people when it comes to the world. We Indians, whether it is a VFX industry, say, or IT industry, or whether anything, wherever you go, Indians are at the forefront. Reason, we are very much capable. So the question that in itself is example that we are very much capable, that much of work coming to us, we are able to do. All the Hollywood studios, like sir said, like a lot of work that is going to, which is coming to us, we are making in the same quality which they have expected us, and in lesser time. And see, time is very crucial thing. And in VFX, one day increases a lot of budget. There are renders happening, the artists they are doing overtime. So overall, how we can make this industry very viable, and see, our industry is very good. It is as expected to be, 3 billion Indian VFX and animation industry. So we have a lot of improvement. Like as sir said, we have to put in infrastructure, bring right talent. The main thing is we have to bring that mentality. Okay, we have to work with each and every people and make them understand. People are understanding VFX, So it's a process of learning, and we have to वो जो एक Indian mentality, ठीक है, हम लोग इतना काम आ गया है, अब इसको खत्म करते हैं, तो वो थोड़ा सा from producer side and from the studio side, we have to say no, this can be happening. Nobody says this to production house कि नहीं भाई नहीं हो पाएगा. We will do that, and that is our thing. That's why बाहर का भी इधर काम आता है, और हम लोग काम भी करते हैं.
ना नहीं बोलते हैं किसी चीज के लिए.
नहीं, हम ना नहीं बोलते हैं. भारतीयों की आदत है.
अगर कर भी नहीं सकते, हम लोग हाँ बोलेंगे. करेंगे.
बिल्कुल हम लोग
और करेंगे तो ठीक से भी नहीं करेंगे कभी कभार.
नहीं, वो it totally as a VFX studio, I would say कि if proper amount of time given, we are no less than Marvel Studios or any other studios. You have to give us the proper time and the money as well.
ठीक है. मुझे actually let's give a round of applause to Upen, because he was a VFX professional like any of you all, and he set up his own company.
Yeah.
तो ये कंपनी आपने क्यों सेटअप की? रेंडरिंग तो हो रहा है सब जगह, सबके पास रेंडरिंग हो रहा है, और क्यों क्लाउड पे रेंडर करने का? वो ये इंडियन कंपनी भी ज्यादातर हेजिटेट करते हैं, बोलते हैं नहीं हम चाइनीज कंपनी के पास जाएंगे, वो लोग मोर रिलायबल है, तो क्यों करने का इंडिया में?
Well, in 2015, when I finished my film, when we were finishing our film, we were doing back-to-back 2 films in 7 months. And that is where we used a lot of cloud. And I realized that, me and my partner, we would discuss, and he would not give me more render nodes. We would need more infrastructure, but I'll not get infrastructure. How to solve that problem? So that is where I used Amazon first, and then Google, and then we went on to use the Chinese solution. And that is where I realized that in India we produce so much content. As you said, we are non-stop producing content. Sir said, Suchit said, there is no dearth of work. There is no infrastructure. Where are we going to compute? Where are we going to, and you can't buy machines just because you
नहीं
want
नहीं
to
आप
render.
VFX स्टूडियो लगा सकते थे जैसे बहुत जनों ने लगाया आपने क्यों नहीं लगाया VFX स्टूडियो आपने इसके why did you go into rendering
Well, nobody was doing it. So to be very honest, I went to every infrastructure company in this country, those who are setting up data centers and stuff. And I inspired them in 2015, okay, you set up the farm, I'll be your first customer. Nobody was doing it. And I was, I think it was 2016, and I was sitting in one of these events like this. And I was talking to somebody, and that is the time when another gentleman who was hearing me from the other table came and said, don't waste your time convincing this guy. Why don't you do it? Because you so passionately talk about it. Because I said, that's need of the hour. That was back in 2016. And he said, okay, I'll fund you, you do it. And that is how I got some small funds to start the business. And that time I had a choice, whether I join 88 or do this. And I kind of chose to do this because nobody else was doing it. I saw it as a great need.
You saw it as a
and great
need
potential.
and an opportunity,
Yeah.
both.
Both, need and opportunity, both, yeah.
So how many of you have worked with SpeedGaze? And your feedback,
We have worked with
your
SpeedGaze.
feedback on, let's say, be honest about it versus the
Please
Chinese,
be honest.
the Chinese products.
It's not about Chinese product or SpeedGaze. It's about the service, the infrastructure, which we still lack in India. I think he has taken a good initiative, and we all are supporting him. At the end of the day, we have to look at our own products to be delivered on time. So whatever best he is doing, we is doing, but we have to use other services because of our delivery issues.
Okay.
Well, I don't have a Western hangover, so I invest in the person. And I know Upen for ages, and I think he's amazing. And we have worked in the past. He has taken it up personally, that particular assignment. Extremely impressive. And we are recently going to work on a full movie together. It's like the British handlooms. So we create our products here, we keep it here. Why can't things be done here? And he's exactly doing that.
Fantastic. आपका तजुर्बा क्या रहा है?
Well, मैं just यही जानना चाह रहा था. It is a very good. I have studied it and I really liked it. But only concern comes to a studio is how cost effective is this one. If you can explain that, because we had how this will be useful to us, I just wanted because
मैं बात कीजिए please आप.
So, as far as rendering goes, it's pretty cost effective because you pay only for the hours that you compute, right? So you don't pay for anything extra.
Yes.
So presume a scenario where you need 100 computers to render and you set it up in your office. What are they doing when they are not rendering?
Well, sir, that is a valid question. But
you're still paying for it, right?
yeah, they are in the office stores.
अच्छा, तो आप जब ऑफिस के कंप्यूटर्स होते हैं, उसका कोई अकाउंटिंग नहीं होता है कि आपने कितनी बार रेंडर मारा, उसका बिजली का बिल कितना आया, लाइसेंसिंग की कॉस्ट कहाँ जा रही है, किसी को नहीं पता होता. बट व्हेन यू रेंडर विद अ क्लाउड सर्विस प्रोवाइडर, जब आप हमारे साथ रेंडर करोगे तो यू ओनली पे, देयर इज अ मेजरमेंट, देयर इज अ कॉन्शियस मेजरमेंट. It's a fully prepaid service, so you pay first and then use it. So your cost is controlled by you. At every hour, you get reports every day, how much render is done, how many hours of rendering is done, how many frames crashed, how many frames got delivered. That accounting is not available anywhere else. If you're rendering in your studio, you'll never get that accounting. You can't tally your electric bills with your compute that you have done. You can't. There is no way to do it.
Yes, but for example, if you render blades, say 50 render blades, for example. So we have a project that we are doing, so we are using it, but we have a certain cost that no X amount is going to be for this month for me. But with this one, for example, if you render a shot, and the perspective changes, the cost is changed, whenever we render. So that I'm just saying this, how studios will be more receptive to accept this. I just wanted to know how it is useful for us. That's
exactly
that's
accountability.
Accountability is there.
What I bring in is accountability towards rendering, which you don't have.
Okay.
In your studio, when you are rendering one shot 10 times, as a producer or as a higher authority or executive, you wouldn't even know that guy was just firing renders after renders after renders.
That is what mostly is happening. But we have that thing. We have render farm, so tension नहीं है. ये सारी चीज चल रही है.
I am genuinely not denying that you should not have a render farm. I'm only here to address your peaks.
Okay, yeah.
What happens if you overnight need 500 machines to render? Where will you go? You can't set up presumably in your infrastructure. What we are trying to build is completely automated solution for you so that all you do is drag your scene file on it, application takes care of itself, uploads, renders, downloads, everything happens within the scope of your control.
Oh, so you are a saver. That's great, sir.
What are the other technologies? One is cloud rendering. There is virtual cloud computing. Basically, you're having virtual machines which you're working on. So what are the other technologies which international studios are using? I think most studios internationally don't give up. They have their own render farms, but they also use the cloud for rendering. And I think, what is the division percentage in terms of, you worked in international markets. So what's the percentage division between virtual machines and with cloud rendering? How much do they have in-house? How much do they have outsourced?
You know, the market has become very smart, Anil. So I think that's almost like a 60-40 percentage. Nobody has that many amount of machines in their own studios, and they're very intelligent to understand that there are different expertise that belong to different particular segments of the business, and that's where it has to be given. Now, Upen has a particular expertise that he has to do, and I have a particular expertise that my studio will be doing. So I think that is very well sorted in terms of the international market, and people know where they have to give it to. For me, I have found extreme value in giving some of my work to him, and I think it comes out perfectly well in terms of exactly the accountability that he has mentioned. And there's no need for me to go to other places unless there's a shortfall of machines, which can be then a physical thing, you know. In terms of virtual production, we have moved each and every of our projects into the virtual production.
So you have dumb terminals in the office, in your studio? You have dumb terminals?
No, we are doing it from a remote facility right now. We have a small setup in London as well, and we're doing the entire previs for films in Unreal, wherein I understand that there is a need to educate the market. There's a need to educate the directors. No matter I fool myself saying that, no, we're getting so much amount of work, as I said, that we are like the British handlooms, and we're trying to basically cut our hands to kind of sell products at a cheaper cost. We can't be doing that anymore. We are definitely growing. I mean, please don't be misunderstood. I'm more than happy to get the kind of work that we are getting. But again, for whom? Who are the biggies? Who are the international studios that we are talking about? They're not Indian made. They're not born out of here, right? And some who are, hats off to them. And they have made tie-ups and they have made mergers and stuff like that. So we are using, of course, Unreal. We have been using, Yogesh knows very well, during the Riva times, we have been using Unreal for most of our theme park rides that we have been doing at that point of time in Dubai. And now it's different, obviously that, and we have to understand how much can we use and what can we use it for. And we are using it for the previs, we're using it for some of our virtual production facility. But again, the focus has been on creating, using all of these technology and somewhere drive the market as well, while I'm sitting down on probably a portfolio of say a 50 CR or 60 CR movie revenue, which is VFX CGI driven for the next 1 year. At the same time, I've built, and that's why MadFam has been built, to kind of do projects wherein we can also drive it from the top down. We can create our projects, we can call our shots, we can attach the right price to it, and we can create the rightful jobs and the rightful quality that is coming out of India for other films and by other studios. Yeah.
Okay. Same question to you, Yogesh, in terms of you're seeing a lot of virtualization of studios happening where they don't have intelligent, high-end workstations or servers, where you actually work with servers on the cloud. So what are the other technologies which can help take this industry, give industry that edge? Apart from creative and technical expertise, what are the other technologies which are emerging?
More than, with the technology, we need to have that manpower to handle the technology. The issue is that we have got tools, we have got technology, AI coming out, VR coming. Who is operating it? The main thing is the pipeline. The setting of a pipeline is the most important thing. I think with renders also we are facing a lot of issues. So with whatever planning we are doing it with VR also, we need to have a pipeline support from guys like Upen or from whoever Chinese companies. Where we get stuck is assuming the number of renders, how much money we are going to spend on renders. That's where we get stuck. So more thing with the technology we need to spend on manpower, understand who can make our life easy. That's what you can use any of the tools. At the end of the day, we have to get a good result in a given cost.
So
The cost is not
is
there.
rendering an issue as far as Indian studios is concerned?
See, every
rendering
studio-
capacity?
So we are all going from 2K to 4K VFX.
Okay.
You know, that's where a lot of demand comes in. A lot of VFX are now going CG heavy. So you need to have that render power.
So rendering is a limitation.
Rendering is a limitation, definitely. We can't assume.
It's not just GPUs, high-end GPU workstations.
See, whatever technology you give us GPU, you give us anything. Today, end of the day, if we don't have a pipeline solution, we will end up losing money.
Okay. Is that good news for you?
Yeah, definitely. It's good news in a way. I saw it almost in 2016 that we are going to be so heavily. I'll tell you, 2015, when we were rendering, my budget was 45 minutes per frame. My artist put so much fur on the character, it took 9 hours to render. Now, budget was fixed, deliveries were fixed, characters were built, contracts were signed, and then your render budget from 45 minutes shoots to 9 hours. The only way I could deliver is because of cloud. Now, there is a point where you'll say, okay, fine, you want to increase the fur, then you pay more price. That's a different conversation between contractual obligation between sales and business. But as a creative content creator, I need the liberty to create that character that I want to create. So I want to add more depth to it, add more fur to it, add more look to it. You know, where will you go? You'll need unlimited amount of computing. You'll need resources that can do this, and after the project gets over, you have no need for them.
Okay, so let's, we are going all over. What's going to drive? Let's have a last address from each of y'all. We need more rendering capacity. We are moving towards virtualization of studios. What else is needed to take the industry forward? Talent is, we need to get more talent. What else? Any of the last points before we wrap up?
Anil, I'll stick to my always what I believe in, for which the core of our business, which is I think we need to train more people in product-specific euphoria in the country, when we create content and create more jobs out of that. We're just not dependent on outsourcing. I mean, I was never ever motivated to start a VFX company before only for a call center approach. I started it because I know that there is so much talent in our country, and most of the work is coming out of here. It's just that we have to train the right set of people, whoever is interested in this business, create content, get more government support in that, have more product-driven approach rather than just a service-driven approach. Mix the two and create the euphoria and guide and have the right guidelines for it, the right pipeline for it. That's all is needed, and that's exactly what we're doing. It's not easy, of course, it's not. There's a lot of bloodshed down the way, but we are still doing it. Yeah.
Okay. What about you? Last words before we call it a session.
So I say the growth is tremendous in terms of VFX. Rendering is an issue, but that can be project to project. But yeah, we as a business always count numbers at the end of the day, because a lot of time our render budgets goes up and down. We still all have to invest in a lot of R&Ds, because we see a lot of changes happening in the VFX industry. A lot of new tools are coming, a lot of new technology, a lot of new set of mindset. A lot of new artists are coming. So we need to work with them, see what we can create beautiful images for the upcoming generation, and a good IP for the producers. And I suggest that, all the directors, producers be a part of this journey. Make us a part. Let's do some good visual, which is a tremendous opportunity which we have as in India to deliver something. And I really wish that someday we also stand for Oscar and we win the best VFX as an Indian company.
Fantastic. Upen? What else is missing? Like, they addressed a few of the points, each of them. Anything else which you think?
I agree with both of them.
Beyond that. Don't repeat. Any other innovative points you have?
See, technology is seeping into every area of life, right? But creativity and what Suchit said about building our own products, not just depending on outsourced business. So, and what he talked about talent, that is, everything is needed. And we are going to push the boundaries more and more. So it's never going to be enough. Okay. According to me, the guy I'm sorry, I missed the trailer of...
Media.
Yeah. So they're pushing the boundaries so much, like creating landscapes which are non-existent. you give me Unreal, which is real time, but we'll make sure it is not real time. We'll push it so much that it will become Unreal for Unreal to be real time. So boundaries are going to be pushed constantly, and we'll have to constantly keep on innovating. Now, as an artist, whether I innovate a great story, or as a VFX producer, I innovate a great way to deliver the project using virtual productions and all the technology, or I chose to do this because I saw a great opportunity and need, both.
What you should be saying is, please come to my office and book some rendering time for me, period.
Well,
End of story.
I'll leave it to you and Venu to do that.
Yeah.
I am more passionate about what I'm doing because I broke the barriers of technology, understood it. Now we're talking about virtual studio, studio in cloud as a solution. You can spin off servers anywhere, anytime you want, for as much hours that you want, and pay only for that much.
I understand. There's also what happens is, if you're taking a studio on a cloud, you don't have to keep reinvesting in hardware every 3 years. Technology gets redundant. The power of processors gets higher and higher. All of that.
Every studio goes through this.
Yeah.
Today, one
There's a
artist
cycle
will
of
come, oh, you want to do this? I want this card of NVIDIA and that CPU of Intel or AMD or whatever. And studio budgets are always constrained. What do they do after that machine? So I wouldn't name the studio, but there is a studio which we visited. They wanted to use their workstations for rendering. You know, the utilization of workstation was only 3%. 3%, and they spent 5 lakh rupees for that machine, and it is only utilized every day for 3%. Some slight peak will come sometime. Now that entire resource is lying idle. You're just burning your money, nothing else.
Absolutely.
But you can't, now you've purchased it, so now what is the choice you have got? You can't say that now reduce the capacity of it. You can do that in cloud. So today you take a server from me and run your setup and you realize that it is not getting utilized properly, I'll shrink the size, pay less.
Okay, there is some sense in what he's saying. I hope you all guys will see sense, and hopefully he'll maintain his service qualities. Book him on a QoS and all of that, quality of service and all that, and hold him to it.
Yeah, for your satisfaction, we have a stall there. Please go and register yourself.
Ankush.
And
Yes, I've been
Now that's a salesman coming up front.
I've been educated, like, so
Yes,
sir. Just wanted to say, like, sir has said, like, this content has to be made, sir. Like, then Yogesh sir said that we have to equip our talent so that they can be receptive of that. And these, sir told me, like, about the rendering solution. So we have all things in a place. We just have to be receptive of the innovations that are coming to us. Very receptive, because sometimes we don't understand it, but these are being the innovations which will ease our life. And that is why I asked him a question, and to understand it, because everybody, the promoters who are sitting at this studio, who are employing us, they want us how we can be useful for that. Okay, film is making, how it is earning, that is not my. So their concern is to be how useful. So it's all been said and done.
No, I would add to this. I'll add something.
Yeah.
When you go back to your studios, make sure your VFX professionals and the artists are going beyond just their routine jobs.
Yeah.
They're actually enriching themselves every day creatively, so that they can come back and give you that return. Let them learn about astronomy. Let them learn about geography. Let them learn about history. Let them learn about filmmaking. Let them learn about animation.
Yes.
Let them learn about cartooning.
Like,
I think you need to have a full-rounded VFX artist. That's what's lacking in our industry. Let them learn about geometry as well.
We are one of the steady industries from the past 5 years, so it is golden road.
No, it's going, but the artist has to evolve himself.
Yes, that's true.
They have to see themselves as self-development is very, very crucial. That's what's needed to take India to the next level.
I think I can't agree more with you, because we are becoming very mechanical in this field. It's a creative field. We're becoming very, very mechanical. I think that's exactly what is needed.